And good morning. This is the Elliott Wave Weekly Update for gold, silver, and platinum, being recorded on Sunday, August the 31st at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm going to start again on gold, and I'm on my monthly, the maximum monthly chart. This data goes back to, let me say, I think 1975. Yep, 1975, and includes the high in 1980, which was 800, and let me just tell you exactly, 873 basis the future at that time. And also, it includes the high in 2011, which was 19,000, almost 18. And then it also includes our current highs, which are above 3,500. So what it continues to show me, at least on this scale, is that we are likely in a cycle third wave up, or it's a C wave up. Both carry the same potential, the same structure, and the same power. So let's kind of jump in to picking it up off the low, in which was a major low in 1999, and that was at 253. So that is where this large, either C wave or third wave began. And now it is subdividing. So we have primary one and two. So of this cycle three, primary one and two, intermediate one and two, minor one and two, minute one and two. Now that's quite a bit of subdividing all the way up. But when we consider that we're in a three of three of three move, and technically we can say we're in a three of three of three of three move. It's got four subdivisions. And you can see what happens when we get that much. That third wave, dynamic. The third wave has actually taken us from a low of 1,823 to a high at 3,500. That's pretty strong. So I want to bring it down pretty quickly to, this is my 3-year weekly chart, where we have, there's minor two, so we're in minor three. Here's minute one, two, and we're looking for the completion point for minute wave three. And so this is actually going to be a time when expectations would be for a little bit larger of a pullback. But I want to just show you what I think may save the day in terms of the market not dropping to possibly its full potential on a Fibonacci basis. So let's just kind of show you that I have a nice cluster up here, right? So we finished a triangle for minuet wave four. We kind of came out, we broke above that triangle pattern and then got stuck. So that high was on a spike at 35, 34. And then the market dropped back in a wave two. And then we picked up the rally and got a boost on Friday, where the market then got closed at 35.16, but got up to 35.18. Now, I think that's all a part of this small sub minuet wave three. So what we got going on is that wave three would be equal to wave one at 35,088. Then I have, from here, we've got the minuet wave five, and that has 100%, so it would be equal to wave one, and that would be at 36.65. So I've got, and then I have an additional, if the third wave kind of just really tears and runs up and can manage to break 35.87 and break 36.65, then we have at 37.32, 37.33. Now I want to bring this down, put it into my daily chart, and now we're going to see all these kind of come into fruition. So also out there, we have that minute third wave, right? So we have that minute third wave. Let me just go back out. There it is, minute third wave. And what does it tell us based on the daily? That third wave would be equal to 3.882 of the first wave. It's a fib relationship. It's been sitting there forever, and it happens to coincide now with the minuet fifth wave, which would complete that third wave. So again, I got a little bit high probability right there. Now, this particular third wave might suggest we're going to go up through that. We obviously maybe come back to it, but we're going to go up through it, and that takes us up to our next level for this minuet fifth wave, and that's at 38.76. So I think we've got a nice cluster. I got to take this one out because it's already been exceeded. Let me just get rid of that. So we have 100% 1.618. Here's the cluster. And I think that even though if we go above that, it doesn't, it said that the next level would be here, but that doesn't mean that that's where the market has to go. I think what we need to do is just finish this three, a four, and a five, and that all could happen within this zone, possibly as high as this zone. So I think that what we're really staring in the face is another strong pop in gold. And actually, I think it's going to happen in silver as well, but we'll get to that in a moment. So, and then, as I said, this then brings about a situation where we have the potential to, if we just go straight fibs, and I'm going to use this point right here, then we're just looking for a corrective phase, and we're just going to put retracements up. And so 382, the most common retracement for a minute fourth wave, will come in at 29.56. But if I look at 236 and I look at the previous fourth wave, it's telling me it should find its terminus within this price territory. And that fourth wave ended at 3,300. So I think that as we get up here, we finish the minute third. Straight fibs retracements are going to tell you, wow, it has the potential to truly drop, minimally 32.25. 382, most common, 29.56. Previous fourth wave, I hate to use the words, but I'm going to, may save the day. And in other words, keep the market, holding the market higher, letting this minute fourth wave come in, and then setting the stage for the next surge, basically. Because then what we're going to be doing, wherever this fourth wave comes in, we take this first, run it all the way up to wherever that fourth wave is, and now we're going to get where minute wave 5 is going to come in. And minute wave 5, well, could be up here, to be honest with you. So we'd be looking for sure, we'd be looking, that the market should be heading towards 4,000. And it could do that by the end of the year. It could do that in conjunction what we see happening possibly in the treasuries, what we see happening possibly within all kinds of things, within the dollar, within the treasuries, within the tariff wars, within just the trade wars. Now, a lot of things can kind of shift the necessity to begin to, buy gold, buy silver. So I think that could be coming up. Now, I'm going to take this guy off because we don't know yet, but I'm kind of going to leave it that, see, we started to go very nicely. We had a beautiful day on Friday. And so I think that that's what's going to continue. We might pull back a little bit. Let's look for the 8 right now, which is at 34.20. That's also the 20. Let me see, where is my 8? It's in there somewhere. I don't actually see it. All right, I'll go get it. But there it is, 34.49. It's right there. So that it could pull back 34.49 and then run again. But that would suggest that the third wave gets to 35.87.88, maybe 3,600, because this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we finish the third. I definitely need to get above 35.24, but I think it can do that pretty easily. All right. So that's gold, still with a very positive overtone. Corrections notwithstanding. But I think we're finally getting ready to break out of this box that kind of the market has been in since April, the end of April. Kind of been trading in a box. I think it's getting ready to finally break out of that box and continue up in a five-wave pattern. All right, over in silver. Silver finally broke and closed above 40. That's a major, major step in this rally because it's really kind of held it for quite a while. And so it just did it all at once, just bam, got above it and closed above it, which I believe sets the stage for that continuation. Now, let me just go out to my maximum monthly here. And so and we just take a look that what I have is a big WX, and this is a Y wave going up. There's the 1980 high. There's the 2011 high. And so I think, yes, I believe that we should get above 49.82 and then again above $50. I think that's what we hit here, $50.50. But that just takes us up 51.79. We've got this level up here, which would be for the Y wave, and that is where the Y would be equal to half of the W. So it's an interesting marker, but there it sits, and that would be new all-time highs. Now, I have heard there are others that kind of believe that silver has a chance at $60 to $70. Well, there's 57. So that's pretty close to 60 when you get up there. So I actually think that we might still make new all-time highs, but not quite that big. But that doesn't mean that it isn't possible because we're seeing that once the thing can really go, first of all, it can really produce short covering. And then when you're up here, it just is going to get thin, right? How anybody with a sizable order could truly move the market. And we just need to go back and look. We had spikes that took us up to those levels. Granted, this is a monthly chart, but those spikes were strong. This was just a short, and this was manipulated, but this one was actually just a strong spike. And what I want to point out is that was a strong spike, and then you have to look at what it did. Again, monthly chart, but the response was a devastating backward slide. And so made that new high and immediately just took most of it back. So that is where I would start. In silver, I think we need to be cautious because the patterns have been established. And so I would tend to lean on them that when this does finish, we're going to get a nasty turn. And could be actually, because if it's finishing Y, then again, we're starting something new. And it will be to the downside. So it could be deep. But anyway, we're going to now work on getting up because that's where we're headed. So back to this daily chart now. So I have 1.618. So here again in silver, we're also looking for the completion point for a minute third wave. Minute wave 3 would be equal to 1.618 of minute wave 1, and that comes in at 42, 42.10, let's say. This fifth wave, 2.618, comes in at 42.31 or 21. Let me see. I believe it's 30, 31. So between 42.10 and 42.35, let's say, is where we have a little bit of a cluster that could finish, first of all, this 3, 4, 5, and then the minute third. So I'm looking for to get in there and complete. This is where I think we can complete the third. So we get a little bit more, not all that much. We can do that in Globex. and then correct back again. But I think we'll it might get up to 41 and then drop back towards 39. But silver has a bad habit of doing that. This was kind of maybe all air, and they just kind of slam it back down to where support will be found. So it, yeah, we got to allow for everything. But I think eventually that before this minute third is, we should be up here. We'll probably get to 42. Now we could do that quickly as well. This is a daily chart. These inside moves could be a little 4 and a 5 and a 4 and a 5. And then suddenly we're up here and we're completing this all at the same time in one bar. So we'd have to break it down. We'd have to look at the hourly chart and see how this is all building. Like there's the 2. So this is all that third. And you can see it was a lot of fits and starts. And then a gap and then a decline and then a spike. So yes, I think we could come back down, hold still above 40, run up to here, finish this third, come back down in a 4, run up to here to complete the minute third and the subminuet wave 5. So we got a 3, come back in a 4, go back up in a 5, finish that minute wave 3. I'm going to bring this back out to the daily. Minute wave 3. And then again, silver is setting up for what we might consider a larger pullback. So again, if it's going to be a minute fourth wave, we're going to look at this because this doesn't have the benefit of the triangle pattern. And I'm going to say it gets up to here. Or maybe actually up to here. Let's say it gets all the way up to there. 382 is 38. Not that bad. I mean, this is saying it gets up to 42. So you can see, and the previous fourth wave is right there. It's the minuet. And that drops us down to 36. So I think, the correction is going to feel strong because we're going to be bouncing back down off of 41 plus to 42 plus. So yeah, we can come down. And if it makes it only to there, then you got to just adjust your levels and they're still going to come into here. So again, as in gold, I think we have the potential where we're going to get a little bit larger of a pullback. Now, again, gold has the benefit of that its previous fourth wave was a triangle. So it was a diagonal. It was like just wedged. And that's above. That's like 3,300 versus 3,100. Here, if it was to do similar, we'd be looking at 39 versus 36. And so we'll have to see how this all plays out when it actually happens. But right now, I'm still very positive on silver, and I was very not surprised, but I was more satisfied that it managed to spike and get itself above 40, because I believe that once it started to break above this high, it would likely just spike as we had, triggering a lot of stops. And so we'll see what happens come next week. Again, on the daily, all still pretty good to go up and continue. In fact, that 8 is really picking up some parabolic nature along with that 20, and that might just follow through if we get a continuation of this parabolic move up towards 42. All right, let's go over and take a look at platinum. Not bad, but it seems still be stuck. So I don't really have any changes to make here, other than I've added a little bit for an upside move, and this is for the downside. If that high doesn't get taken out, then I'm still I see this as wave A, wave B, and we have a C wave down, and these would be the markers again, and that would be for that minor fourth wave. So got to give it more time because then we still have a minor fifth wave up, but I don't think we're close to doing that just yet, because this does look like 5 down to me, which means it's A of 4. And this is a big B wave of 4. And then we have maybe a 1, 2, and we're going to start to come down again. Now, this is where we might get a little bit of a separation between platinum and silver and gold, unless silver and gold spike make these highs to complete those minute third waves, and then collectively, platinum, gold, and silver all decide to put in corrections of varying degrees, but all within fourth waves. Platinum would be a minor four, and silver and gold, it would be a minute four. Still, corrections in the metals pretty much looking like we can get those started pretty quickly. So here on the daily, I'm still thinking this is A, that could be B, or we have one more little rally, and the resistance comes in at 1391 to 1419. And that's 50% to 62% where this B wave would then be complete. So remember, this is A, this is minute wave A of minor wave 4, minute wave B of minor wave 4, and we have a minute C wave coming down, and there's the markers. So that's really about it. Trade-wise, well, you just got to trade what's happening in front of you. In this case, I think we have a little bit more, again, because in silver and in gold, we believe that there's still some upside left to finish before we get that minute fourth wave. And here we have a little bit more we could finish and a little bit more upside to finish the minute wave B of minor 4. And then we come down. So all of that, I'm going to just stay. Platinum, yeah, there'll be something to trade if you're a day trader and you want to get in there. There'll be something to do. But in terms of just positions, I don't think any changes are necessary just yet. All right, that is going to be it. Our next update will be next week.